Bushnell. Performance is the only thing. Federal Premium Ammunition. Surgical precision. Terminal results. Savage Arms. Better come standard. Gold Tip. Start tough, stay true. And these other fine sponsors.
Hey folks, welcome to Bushnell's Trigger Effect TV. In this week's episode, we're going to be muzzleloader hunting whitetail deer right here in my home province of Manitoba. However, sometimes our hunts go in a direction we never intend them to. This hunt is a prime example of how, as hunters, sometimes it's not always about putting meat in the freezer, but it's about contributing to management. So let's head out into the field and I'll show you what I mean. Well, it's that time of year again, folks. It's whitetail season here in Manitoba. We had a couple storms come through late in the archery season, early muzzleloader season, laid down about 6 to 8 inches of snow. I'm just heading out to one of the blinds I set up a couple days ago, and it seems to have quieted down. It's a beautiful day today. The deer should be moving, and hopefully we can put the muzzleloader to work tonight and get a big buck on the ground. So let's get going. Well, I made it into the blind. It's going to be nice in here to be able to stay out of that wind for sure. The temperatures have really dropped here in Manitoba. We've experienced a couple bad snowstorms here at the end of the archery season, first part of the muzzleloader season. This is the last week of muzzleloader, so I'm self-filming. Gonna see what happens. We've got a couple good bucks that have cruised through this area. Hopefully something will show up and I can get them in range for the old muzzleloader. So gonna get the cameras turned around, get geared up, get settled in for a good evening sit here in Manitoba. Amazing how keen these whitetail are. She's about 100 yards from me. Got just a whiff because the wind changed a little bit. And she started blowing, started sending out an alarm. They haven't run off, but they're not at ease. You can still hear them blowing in the background. Well, hopefully that wind won't do that again. That was pretty cool. I was looking out the side window and I could see a fox coming, so I just got the camera ready. It went by at like 10 yards. Well, I've only got a few more minutes left to light and then I gotta call her quits. Well, that spells it for this evening. Had a few encounters, nothing that we wanted to shoot, so That was pretty cool. That fox came by. That was really close to the blind. But hey, that's the way hunting goes. It's cold. The deer are starting to move. They're starting to feed earlier in the evening. So just got to put in the time. Maybe a big buck will show up. I've got another blind I'm maybe going to sit in the morning. So we'll put on a little bit more clothes for tomorrow and see how tomorrow pans out. Get all my gear packed up and get out of here.
Stay tuned for more hunting action with Bushnell's Trigger Effect after this commercial break. Closed captioning is brought to you by Hunting Consultants Plus, more than just a booking agency. Now let's return to the action with Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
She's a cold one this morning. I'm at a new spot. There's lots of deer coming out into this barley field, feeding in the evenings and in the mornings, but it got down to minus 21 there last night, so the deer are a little bit lazy getting out of bed, so we're gonna sit it out and see what happens this morning. Hopefully we'll get some deer moving here right away. It's just starting to get light. Here comes a good buck from my left. That happened quick. Oh, the snow is so crunchy. I just peeked out the back window here and I could see some does running. Nice big buck running right behind him. Come out about, I don't know, 100 yards from her. Oh, it's cold this morning. I think I put a good shot on him. Held right on him. That doe was standing in front of him and I had to wait for her to clear. All I can do is, I think I got my Manitoba buck, so that's awesome. Gonna give him a few minutes and we'll go over and take a look for blood. Yes, awesome. Well, I've waited for a little bit. I'm gonna get out of the blind, walk over and check for blood. I'm pretty sure I hit him good and solid. I had it right behind the front shoulder. He was less than 100 yards and I heard the smack, so that federal copper hopefully put a big wound channel in him. I don't think he'll be far. So let's get outside and take a look. The deer numbers are really starting to come back strong. We're starting to see way more mature bucks, which is good, and there's a ton of recruitment bucks, which makes it awesome. We know we're going to have good deer hunting for a long time to come yet. So I'm getting close to where I think those deer were standing. Got to look for the running tracks because there's so many deer tracks here. Well, I got some really nice white, frothy, looks like lung blood. Took a little bit of sorting out. There's so many tracks in this field. I couldn't really tell where that buck ran into the timber, but his track is right here. He ran right in behind me. So I can see more blood ahead of me. So I'm just gonna keep going, keep tracking, and hopefully find them all piled up.
The Canadian Wild Turkey Federation is proud to present Turkey Talk.
I'm Colby. I joined the Canadian Wild Turkey Federation because I like to hunt and fish. The CWTF helps provide lots of opportunities for kids to get involved with hunting and the outdoors.
Bushnell's Trigger Effect will return shortly after this commercial break. This segment is brought to you by Westside Stores, your outdoor sports authority. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Well, there's lots of good blood here. It's up high. It's really spraying out. It's on the left side, so that should be the exit side. So he's doing his last run, I think. Well, this is very unfortunate. The buck has traveled a lot further than I'd hoped. I thought he was going to be expired just a short way into the oaks, but it looks like he's heading to the other side of the valley. With that happening, I'm self-filming today, so I'm going to have to put the camera away. I'm going to try and do the ethical thing and get this deer taken care of as quickly as possible. I do not want to leave him overnight. We have so many predators, so many coyotes in the valley here that if that happens, there's a good chance I'm going to lose him. So I'm going to head back, put the camera away, try and cut his track down a little further closer to the river and see if I can't catch up with this big buck. So it's unfortunate. It's the way it happens sometimes when you're hunting. But I want to do the right thing. I want to get this deer taken care of. So I'm going to head back now. Well, we've run out of daylight today. I don't want to go any further on the blood trail in case I bump him. I want him to bed down. Hopefully we can pick up the blood trail first thing in the morning. It's supposed to snow a little bit tonight, which is going to maybe hamper our ability to track. A little bit of snow is not a problem. A bunch will bury the blood and it'll make it a little harder tracking, but I'm sure we should be able to find this guy first thing in the morning. So I'm going to head back up to the truck, head home, rest these weary bones, and be back out at first light.
Lethbridge College proudly presents Conservation Connection.
Hi folks, welcome to this week's edition of Conservation Connection at Lethbridge College. Joining me is Shane Roersma, who's one of the wildlife instructors at the college, and we're going to be talking a little bit about linear corridors. So I guess, Shane, really, I know I hear this a lot in the biology world. What is a linear corridor?
Well, linear corridors are quite a common topic right now when you talk about habitat management. There's basically two different kinds. You have your natural linear corridors and those that are somewhat anthropogenically induced, right, or human-made. An example of a natural corridor would be the vegetation along a riparian area, where the moisture itself is conducive to the growth of a wide variety of different vegetation types. And those can be very, very important habitats. The problem is we're losing more of those habitats at ever-increasing rates.
So now, I guess, what would the issue be regarding linear corridors, though, from the man-made side?
So on the man-made side, what we have is, some of these natural corridors are being replaced by, land use practices, right? So if you look at Prairie Canada, for example, right, all of our roads are gridded. Along those roads, you have ditches, and that provides, an environmental gradient conducive to vegetation growth. Then you have some corridors developing there. That's not inherently a bad thing, but the problem is we're starting to see more and more of these corridors, and we're seeing an increased amount of edge.
Right, so now that's a good one leading into my next question. So what is edge relating to habitat?
Well, edge, the basic definition would be, a region where you have two habitats kind of abutting each other, right? And those have been beneficial for animals because they can, access two different environments. Aldo Leopold, considered the father of wildlife management in North America, recognized the importance of edge back in the 30s. And, the boon it would be for wildlife. The problem is now we've kind of reached a threshold where all we kind of have are these edge environments, and they become a bit of an ecological trap where predators are, very easily will find nesting birds and other animals that utilize these linear corridors as habitat in and of themselves.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for giving us that information on linear corridors. Let's return now to some hunting action at Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
For more information on Bushnell's Trigger Effect, visit our website or Facebook. Now, back to the action.
Well, it's the next morning. Trent and I pursued that buck last night till almost last light. We should maybe grab the ranger and get going.
I think we should, yeah. Haven't seen a deer bleed like that, and keep going.
Yeah, that's for sure. I got Trent Headley and Ryan English, our two cameramen. They're going to help me get this guy on the ground. So let's get going.
All right.
Some more blood. He's still going along here. Oh, you hear that?
A raven?
Yeah. I think he's down. He's just up ahead here. Well, we're on the blood trail. It's being covered up with a bit of snow from last night and this morning. We got to a spot here where he's doubled back on himself, but we can hear ravens up ahead. We just saw some fly up there, so let's go up and see what we can find.
More Bushnell's Trigger Effect after these important messages. This segment is brought to you by King's Camo. See the difference. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Yeah. Oh. They cleaned him up, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's him. Well, guys, thank you very much for helping me retrieve this buck. I mean, it's not what we want to do. We don't like to leave these animals overnight. We've got so many predators here, so many coyotes, eagles, ravens, that this is what happens. I mean, he probably died last night, but the coyotes cleaned him right up. I mean, he's not 12 hours old, and he's cleaned right up. But the good thing is, we owned our shot, put in the hard work. We worked all day yesterday, got up early this morning, got back on the track, and unfortunately, this is a part of hunting. Sometimes they get away on you. Sometimes you get them, but I'm not going to have any venison steaks this winter unless Dean or you guys share with me. So I'm glad we got him. Let's get a tag on him and let's get out of here.
Right on.
Thanks, guys.
Bro.
Well, as you've seen, the recovery of my deer was less than ideal. Here at Bushnell's Trigger Effect, we pride ourselves on showing you, the viewer, the real hunt and how it all plays out with all the ups and downs. Would I have loved to have recovered that deer before the coyotes got to it? Yes, of course. Am I disappointed that it happened? Of course I am. But right now, our entire team is heading out to do a little coyote hunting to help manage our predators and get a little redemption. Well, here he is. There's one right there. Boy, that put him down for sure. That was about a 220-yard shot, right on the shoulder. Bang, down he went.
Well, I'm set up here at the family farm and just got here this morning and just getting ready and caught a coyote coming down the one side road here, so I couldn't get on him quick enough. He stopped a couple times, but I couldn't get a shot at him here, so I'm gonna sit tight and just see if he gives me a shot along the hillside. Well, there we go. Coyote down. Couldn't get it the second one. He'd run up the hillside here, so I'm just gonna sit tight and just see if I can't get him to come back out and have a look here for its partner.
Well, the sun's up. I've headed into the valley a little ways on my own property. The deer are starting to yard up. There's lots of coyotes coming around, so let's see if we can't get set up. The deer have stood up and they're kind of looking down the valley. I'm not sure what they're looking at. I can't really see that well because of the oaks right here, but they are looking at something. They seemed a little bit alarmed. Oh, here comes a coyote right here. Ah, boy, that is how you manage your deer. You got to take care of these predators. Well, that's how you manage your deer population. You have to take care of the predators. It's not a very big coyote, but it is a coyote. It's a predator that preys on these deer. We got to give them the best chance we can.
Canadian Wild Turkey Federation is a proud conservation partner of Bushnell's Trigger Effect. Taxidermy services for Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Morning. Cut time. Just run right across it. Stay tuned and let's see if we can go get another coyote.
However, a lot of our episodes go in not a lot. What am I talking about, a lot? A lot of our episodes pan out great. It's these intros that suck.
This has been a Thunder Boys production.